And again, thank you to the deputies who contributed. Again, with apologies from Minister Richmond in relation, he had to go to another event, and I do apologise for that. I'll try and sum up the contributions I've listened to, if that's okay, before I give a closing. And Deputy Richard Boyd Barrett raised the issue of, as I came in, just tax breaks for forestry. Again, these are issues that corporates want to play their part in terms of nature restoration and biodiversity, and there is a Business for Biodiversity platform, something that the MPWS is considering very strongly in terms of investment in forestry and how that might be shaped. So there's a lot of really important work ongoing there, probably not reflected in this particular report. I take on board the points as well in terms of the film industry and the animation sector, which is actually quite a burgeoning sector in my own part of the country down the southeast, and I think it's Section 4.1. I'm not sure exactly the tax breaks there. The animation sector in particular is growing very strongly in Ireland, and again the incentivisation there through the tax code to support the film and animation industry in Ireland. I think anything we can do there is important. Issues were raised by Deputy Boyd Barrett as well about the wealth tax, and again, it is addressed in the report through the capital acquisitions tax. Deputy Nash raised issues again around the property tax and the local property tax as a measure to tax property as a wealth, as an asset. It was something that was actually discussed this morning at a session on the future of local government and particularly funding local government. It is. It was a measure that actually replaced a shortfall in government funding, so it's a bigger challenge there in terms of the revenue base for local authorities as well. I agree with issues raised as well about environmental taxes and broadening the tax base and taxes on wealth and assets. I think those are important points. And again, Deputy Nash raised issues around the carbon tax. It is a progressive tax. I know there are parties in this House who say they're opposed to it, but the fact is it's a ring-fenced tax measure that is there for the retrofit of homes under Warmer Home Scheme and other progressive measures for climate action. So I think that we don't, I suppose we don't stress that point enough, but I think it's critically important that the public are aware how progressive a taxation measure it is. And again, the issues raised about subsidies on fossil fuel and that really critical point that Deputy Nash raised about, yes, absolutely, as we reduce our reliance on fossil fuels and reduce our dependency on, that's going to leave a massive gap in terms of revenue, and it's something we have to plan for. Pollution is sometimes seen as an externality, and it's of our fossil fuel industry, but I think it's important that we do plan ahead. We absolutely need to rapidly decarbonise our transport sector, and I think we do have to be mindful of a cliff edge that could be there in terms of a loss of an income base. Again, I take on board the points raised about child benefit payments and the issues around addressing child poverty, and it's something again, government has been conscious of in the last 4 budgets. I think trying to reduce child poverty in this country is something that we are deeply committed to, and I think as part of the package that will be considered in the budget 2025, I think it's important to give consideration to every measure that can impact positively on child poverty rates in this country. And just in summary then, while the recommendations of the Commission on Taxation and Welfare's report and the committee's report take a medium to long-term view, as Minister Richmond has already noted, work is well underway in the Department of Finance. In addition to work previously outlined, the Department of Finance has conducted a review of Ireland's personal tax system, which was published in Budget 2024. In addition, as recommended by the Commission, the Department is conducting a wide-ranging review of the funds sector under the broad and interlinked themes of open markets, resilient markets and developing markets. A public consultation has been completed and a wide range of research, analysis and stakeholder engagement has been undertaken. Both the Commission's report and the Committee's report stress the need to plan for future challenges facing Ireland. It is important to note that in addition to the annual budgetary cycle, that going forward EU Member States will be required to prepare and submit medium-term structural fiscal plans to the European Commission under a new economic governance framework. Ireland will publish its first medium-term structural fiscal plan in the autumn. While the fundamentals of the Irish economy are strong, there are still vulnerabilities in our public finances, particularly given the windfall nature of corporation tax receipts. And again, that was raised by Deputy Nash in his contribution. Cognizant of these vulnerabilities and consistent with the Commission's recommendations, work is underway to establish the Future Ireland Fund and the Infrastructure, Climate and Nature Fund. And again, those are hugely significant measures, I think, very forward-thinking measures by government. These new funds will enable us to invest these receipts to ensure that we have the resources necessary to address future structural challenges, while at the same time minimising the risk of using volatile windfall taxes to fund permanent spending. This government is taking action now to prepare for the future, whilst also continuing to invest in our housing sector, our infrastructure and in the productive capacity of our economy, whilst also tackling the twin challenges of climate change and biodiversity loss. To conclude, I would like to thank the Deputy for bringing forward this motion, and also thanks to the committee for their really invaluable work on the report. There's a huge amount of work that's been put into this, and I think it is a very valuable and useful report for government to give consideration. And again, I thank all the deputies for their contributions to this debate.
Minister.